Speedway. The 16th annual Konica Jig 100 for late models. Plus exciting highlights from the Skull Racing Series World of Outlaw Sprint and the American Hot Rod Association Monster Trucks. Brought to you by P&W Excavating Incorporated of McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania. By Parsons Ford, Lincoln Mercury. By Ollie Sports Lounge, your newest hotspot for sports and entertainment. By Lynn Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, Cadillac, and Geo. By WKMZ 97.5, the heart of rock and roll. By Timber Ridge Recreation Center. By Opeka Motors of Martinsburg, West Virginia. By WARX 106.9, your hometown oldie station. We'll be back with all today's exciting action right after these messages.
Who beats all Parsons Ford deal? Nobody. Attention car buyers, Fred Parsons has put the sales staff on notice. They must do the deal. If the salesman won't deal, see the manager. If the manager won't deal, see Fred Parsons himself. They must do the deal. Shop massive savings on every new vehicle in stock. Escorts, tours, trucks, and vans. Plus higher trade-in allowances and lower payments. No matter what it takes, we must do the deal. Only at the savings giant. Parsons Ford, Lincoln Mercury, and Martinsburg.
Ollie Sports Lounge, Route 9 by the GM Light, Martinsburg.
When it comes to true rock and roll variety, 97.5 WKMZ is the Valley's clear choice. Eric Clapton, Paul McCartney, Rod Stewart, The Stones, Elton John, Sting, Billy Joel. You'll find the rock and roll you know on 97.5 WKMZ, the heart of rock and roll.
Going, and gone.
And the field gets the green flag.
The second for one. Now lifted back to first. Double play.
Going down into turn one.
The plate, and the Orioles get two runs.
Flat tire.
From the yard to the Speedway, the action is on.
Welcome back, race fans, as we bring you the beauty and speed of the wild, fast, and furious Skull-sponsored series Outlaw Sprint Cars. We also have the monster trucks coming your way with Gravedigger and more, and we have late models, including the Konica Jig 100 for Stars cars at the capital of dirt track racing, Hagerstown Speedway. All that and more coming your way with the lineup for tonight's late model feature event as follows. In the pole position, car number 9, Frankie Blesinger. Starting next in 27, Jim DeVersa. 34, Rick Workman. 35, Rusty Sykes. The 4X of Les Hare. The 119 of Jim Bernheisel. Your next rider in 22, Kevin Denton. Number 4, Al Richards. 01, Rodney Franklin. 46, Marvin Winters. Number 19, Gary Stuller. And the 24 of Nathan Derberall. The 47 of Mike Elksness. 7, Paul Crow. 11, Charlie Schaefer. 03, Mike Harrison. 71, Brent Smith. 54, Mike Griffin. 41, T, Buck Tomlin. 41, Jack Bland. 98, Will Rao. 18, Rick Hurlson. 5W, Nicholas Woodward. 11S of Jim Stein. And there goes Jim DeVersa out front.
Frankie Blesinger on the low side, but I think DeVersa's going to take him probably in turn 3 or 4. There he goes right there.
Oh, well, look how slick that track is. It is shiny. Jim DeVersa still holding on to the lead on the outside, though.
And Frankie Blesinger's hanging in there.
Frankie Blesinger likes that low side, but Jim DeVersa's pulled out in front on the backstretch. That track is so shiny it looks wet. That track is laid down tight and full of rubber. Look out, Frank Blesinger isn't out of it yet.
And look at the cars bunched up behind him. DeVersa's walking away from it now.
He's He's taking the outside groove the long way around, and he's still got the power to stay out in front. Look how low that car lies on the track.
Coming off that fourth turn.
Diversa's really been bolted up of late. He's really running strong this season.
He's a local guy out of Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, too.
The Diversa Construction, is that what it is, Jerry?
That's Diversa Construction. This man owns the company, and this is his play toy, and boy, is he playing hard tonight.
Yeah, he's got 5 or 6 lengths now on Frankie Plessinger, but you got to hand it to Frankie. He's hanging in there in that number 2 position.
Yeah, but we got a new player coming up there in the 3rd spot. Next time the camera fans that way, let's find out who it is. Jim Diversa in 27, though, clearly your front runner tonight.
Les Hare moving up to challenge the number 9.
Well, there he is, Les Hare on the inside. You see that car roll out of that 4th turn.
I think you learned a little something from the sprints.
He had the sprint stance. You're right, buddy.
Oh,
look
boy.
at the mess.
That's Griffin, who's 54. Can't tell who the other car is.
All right, looks like everybody able to get back underway. Had to happen the way they were running.
You know, Griffin's got one of the prettiest cars at Hagerstown Speedway. Beautiful trailer. The people, all of his crew come in beautiful uniforms, but that car just doesn't really
It's almost too pretty to race. I know. It's a show car.
And he has the worst luck in the world.
But I'll tell you what, it's a little less pretty, too. Look at the outside rear corner as he comes around this time. He did get some sheet metal damage on that caution up there in the 4th turn.
Well, they've got a lot of purple paint. They just paint that back up.
Not a problem. You'd be amazed at these cars. This is a wide, loose skin wrapped over a tubular framework, and these cars can take a tremendous pounding before you get into the vital areas.
Hey, Jerry, I got to ask you this question. Does a fellow with the name of Les Hare, is he bald?
I'm not going to give it away any secrets. And helmets, they all look the same.
I just love that name.
I'll tell you
but
what.
He's a strong runner, Les Hare.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the names are as colorful as the cars on the Star Circuit. One of my favorites, not the, because I like them all, but one of my favorites is Booper Bear.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Booper Bear, right.
Not Boo Boo Bear, but Booper Bear.
and I don't even know what his first name is.
Booper.
Is it really Booper?
Sure, this is my son, Booper.
This is my son, Booper.
Hey, out in front, though, Jim Diversa, a Chambersburg, Pennsylvania native. And this is one quiet guy. Like some of the NASCAR drivers, this man just, if you met him face to face, you'd think never had the aggression to race like this and be out in front the way he is. But Les Hare is up there in the number 2 spot with Frankie Plessinger in the 3rd spot, and this will be an exciting restart. Keep your eyes on them front 3 cars.
Jim Diversa. Watch this. The pair of white cars running nose to tail.
Oh, look at Frankie trying to sneak in there.
This track looks slick, but some of these guys set up exactly for a slick track, and it is perfection. It's as smooth as asphalt. Jim Diversa was way out in front, but look at Les Hare right up under the back end of that car. 27 Jim Diversa now stretching back out away from Les Hare.
And back in the pack, Rick Workman is working, pardon the pun, on Frankie Plessinger for that number 3rd spot. But look at Diversa pulling away.
This is the difference in driving skill. You got some guys better in the straight, some guys better in the turn. They choke up, they spread out. They choke up, they spread out. But look at this bunch. 3 cars wide out of that 4th turn. Look at even the tail end. It's exciting racing.
Stays in that high groove on the outside.
And that's what's really nice about a half-mile track, because you've really got racing going on all 4 corners.
Well, this track above most because it's a 3-4 wide racing service, where most cars are relegated to just running a single line through the track. But as you can see, you can run high and low equally well here at the capital of dirt track racing, where car number 27, Jim Diversa, is still way out in front.
And Workman has worked his way into 3rd place. He's taken the high line around every corner, but he's got a strong car tonight, and he's taken 2nd away from Les Hare.
Look at that, Les Hare.
To it.
Les Hare is way down low, and he's still got by him high on the outside. This could be trouble for Jim Diversa before the end of this feature.
Well,
settled into second place.
That's Rodney Franklin, excuse me. Rodney Franklin had settled into second place there. And you know, Jerry, the high side of this track is the one that has been dry all night. The low side's the one that's been wet. And do you think maybe that's playing into this race tonight?
Well, you have drivers that prefer one line or the other, and they set the car up to do exactly that. As you can see, Jim DeVersa sets up to run low. Rodney Franklin is normally a high side rider, and that extra distance doesn't hold him back at all. As you can see, look at him coming up.
Yeah. He's got a strong car, and he is really liking that high line.
Well, Les Hare is not out of it yet, though. Watch as they come around again. He's got a car with a strange setup, but it sure is working for him. He's got a roll.
But he's not even sliding around those corners. He's turning around them.
It is sticking tight. Watch him roll. Uh-oh, look out. Jim DeVersa's lead is in jeopardy from Rodney Franklin.
And they're about to lap the 54 car of Griffin that was involved in that altercation a moment ago, and he's blowing smoke out the back of that car.
I'll tell you what, at this point, it's hard to tell whether it's body damage or engine, but with a wrinkled up rear quarter, it could be either one.
Franklin's got to drop out of that high groove now.
Look at this. Rodney Franklin chewing the paint off the back bumper of 27 Jim DeVersa.
And get back up there once again now.
Franklin will not be denied. He's got a strong car, and he's here to race.
Hey, Jim DeVersa just won the drag race down the backstretch, though. But as you can see, Rodney Franklin can dive a little deeper into the turns, and it's paying off.
Down the low groove, Franklin's up high. Now,
they are so fast. They're rolling back up through the pack, and that blue flag with the orange stripe is just for that. It's to tell the slower cars, look out, here come the leaders.
And they just passed Charlie Schaefer like he was parked.
And that is unusual for Charlie Schaefer, I'll tell you. They are in fast company, but these guys are running like they are possessed tonight.
Workman is fourth, right behind Les Hare.
You got to hand it to DeVersa. He's holding off Rodney Franklin, and Rodney Franklin is an extremely strong racer, and he's doing a good job here.
Jim DeVersa will not be denied.
Rodney Franklin unable to get by. 27 Jim.
Oh yeah, look out! Out in front, Rodney Franklin. He is out in front down the backstretch and into the third and fourth turn.
But Franklin pulls it off. DeVersa comes
back in front. This is
now we got another drag race down to turn one.
Oh man, look out! Now traffic can make the difference at this point. High or low, they're going to be in somebody's way.
Well, Rodney Franklin is now solidly in first place.
Now this just shows you how track and tires can change during the course of a race. Jim DeVersa was untouchable in the beginning, but you can see the Franklin car is getting better.
And DeVersa's finding nothing but traffic in front of him.
Oh, this is rough, I'll tell you what. His groove is not there. It's being occupied, and he's being forced to run a higher line than he's used to, and he's losing more ground all the time.
5 laps to go.
With only 5 laps left to go, our two front runners are so far out in front, it's hard to tell who's even next in line behind them. But Rodney Franklin in the 0-1 is out in front, and now look, he's down on the low side. Rodney Franklin, he's got that car set up to go high-low. He just decided to go high till he got by, and now you can see he's running anywhere he wants.
Nathan Dobro fourth, Rick Workman fifth, Kevin Denton running sixth, 19 Gary
Rodney
Stoll
Franklin is screaming, where's Jim DeVersa? There he is, still in second place, but several car lengths back.
And Les Hare is back a few more car lengths from there.
Rodney Franklin, once he got out front and those tires took hold in the late stages of this race, it paid off.
23 this time.
A lot of science involved in this type of racing, chassis, tires, and the right psychology, and it's paying off right now for the 0-1 of Rodney Franklin.
Yellow lights are on in turn one.
And Franklin knew, well, we got a caution. Well, that's going to tighten things up a little bit. We'll be right back after these messages.
number one in excitement, and number one in value. The new Pontiac Sunfire. It's over $4,000 less than Nissan 200SX and over $2,000 less than Toyota Paseo. And Sunfire has AM/FM cassette, air, dual airbags, anti-lock brakes, and more, all included. So don't pay over $4,000 more. Buy Pontiac Sunfire. It's number one with you.
See the new 96 Sunfire at O'Pecken Motors, 838 East Moeller Avenue in Martinsburg.
At Timber Ridge in Berkeley Springs, you're never too old to have fun because grandmas, grandpas, and kids of all ages are coming to Timber Ridge to ride the go-karts and to play miniature golf. Timber Ridge Go-Karts and Miniature Golf is open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. till 8 p.m., weather permitting. Experience the fun, the thrill of all the fast-paced excitement. Bring yourself, your family, and friends to Timber Ridge Go-Karts and Miniature Golf, just minutes south of Berkeley Springs on Route 522.
Don't miss all the action and excitement. Weekdays at noon, right here on WJAL.
Everybody's bunched up on that restart. All advantages were gone. Any lead anybody had on anybody is gone, and it's a brand new race as they come off the fourth turn, and we're back to green flag racing. Hammered down, Rodney Franklin out in front in the lead. Look at the car smoking towards the back. Now everybody's stretching out into a position that they are going to try and hold and maintain to the finish or better, as Rodney Franklin's taking that high side around the third and fourth turn. Very few others are following him as they lay low, cut the shorter distance around the track. But for Rodney Franklin, he's got the power tonight. Look at that, up high, and he's not losing a bit of distance to anybody behind him. One drag race after another down the straightaways. Here comes Jim DeVersa once more on the inside, up side by side with Rodney Franklin, your winner. But here goes another drag race down the front stretch, and you can see clearly that Rodney Franklin's got the power tonight. The handling is there with Jim DeVersa on the inside, but unable to catch Rodney Franklin down the straightaways. Watch as they go into that third and fourth corner. You'll see Jim DeVersa come back up into the picture. Look at that, side by side, coming down to take the checkered flag for the feature win, Rodney Franklin. 3 to 4 cars out in front in that final drag race down the front straightaway. Rodney Franklin, your feature winner tonight in the 0-1. Here he comes out of the fourth corner, down the front stretch. Easing out on the throttle and heading down towards the scales now. That's one more thing he's got to accomplish. If that car can come in under the right weight, he is your feature winner. Let's take one more slow motion look at that exciting third, fourth corner glide down to the front stretch and that checkered flag. There's Jim DeVersa on the inside, but just unable to do anything with the awesome power down the straightaways of that 0-1. Rodney Franklin, the man with a handle tonight. Rodney Franklin, your feature winner. Now as he pulls up into victory lane, let's go down and meet and greet your feature winner, Rodney Franklin. Was that an easy race to win?
That's about as hard as they come there. Jimmy was real fast around the bottom up from 1 and 2, or 3 and 4, and I had to tippy-toe around the top up there and then try to get a run on him down here in 1 and 2, and it finally worked out. But I didn't know there for a while.
Well, I'll tell you what I was really impressed with is a lot of times you set up to run low, you run high, you've got a personal preference. You ran high as long as it took to get out in front, and then you seemed like you could run anywhere.
Well, you know, you can't run over the guy in front of you, so, you know, you got to, the guys, you know, that are talking around the bottom, you got to find something up top or, you know, the race will be over before you know it. and before you really reach out there and find something. So I kind of had the car set for the top of the track. That's before the sprint guys run first, and I really didn't know how the car was going to act after they run, but it still worked out.
Well, I'll tell you what, you sure made the right call tonight. It was one impressive feature for you, and I'm sure there's people you'd like to thank for getting you here in victory lane.
Sure, I'd like to thank my owners, number one, Creed and Linda, Calton, and, you know, they just never give up on me, and they never complain whether I run good or run bad or whatever. But, you know, they're just good people to drive for. I want to thank my crew, my sponsors, WW Racing Tires, Dream Engines, Pro Shocks, and Masterbuilt Chassis. You know, it takes it all to make a team.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They sure have nothing to complain about tonight. Excellent victory, wild show. Congratulations once more, Rodney Franklin.
Thank you very much.
Now in the pits, you see the Stars drivers making final preparations before the 16th running of the championship Konica Jig 100 race. Everybody's got their place, their station, their duties. No matter how minor they may seem, they are very important when it comes down to the final details that make or break a winner in this championship event. There's one of our stars tonight, Gary Stuller, ready to take the grid. Video tonight provided by Sports Plus Video, and this, the lineup. On the pole, car number 15, Steve Francis. Car 46, Marvin Winters. Your next driver in car number 19, Gary Stuller. Your next driver in car number 42, Todd Andrews. Your next starter, 01, Rodney Franklin. Your next starter in 27, Jim DeVersa. Starting next is car number 75, Bart Hartman. Your next driver in car number 24, Rick Eckerd. Your next driver is 99, Donnie Moran. Next starter, his car E1, Mike Balzano. Driving next is the 34, Rick Workman. Your next starter in car number 1J, Davey Johnson. Starting next in the RG3, Bob Salathe. Your next driver in the number 2, Benny Bonebrake. Starting next on the grid in the 71, Brent Smith. Driving next in car number 4 is Les Hare. Driving next will be the driver in car number 22, Kevin Denton. Your next starter in car number 2J is Mike Johnson. Driving next is a 72 of John Mason. Starting next is a 4 of Al Richards. Your next driver in car number 3S, Rusty Sykes. Starting next will be the 12 of Doug Dodd. Your next driver in 00 is Cooper Bear. Driving next will be car number 24, D. Nathan Derberall. Your next driver in the 119, Jim Bernheisel. Your next driver in the 112, Alan Saggy in the provisional starting position. And that's the lineup for the 16th Konica Jig 100. We'll be right back to exciting racing after these messages on WJAL, your sports channel network.
It's the little things that you appreciate every day. Friendships that last forever. Soft, contented feelings that seem to wrap around you, nestling you in your own world of comfort. Genuine concern for your personal safety and security.